I bust the windows out your car. My black Mercedes. Okay, now I'm trying to do Jasmine Sullivan and Trey Songz. I guess this is a new remix or something like that. Let's break it up. Dum, 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 dum. I bust the windows out your car. See, now I just want to do Trey Songz. Now I just want to do Trey Songz because I forgot the lyrics to Jasmine Sullivan, Venus, and Scorpio. Okay? Now, the Trey Songz version is, I remember correctly, all right? She bust the windows out my car. My black Mercedes 26-inch rims. Okay? Because you was fooling around, Trey. And Venus and Scorpio got on that ass. Okay? Venus and Scorpio got on that ass. For those of you that's coming in for the first time, my name is Kru, also known as Araneae Storm, your Cosmic Rootwork astrologer. Okay? Specializing in mass activations. Mars activations. Alright? And specializing in North Node and South Node consultations. So if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can hit me up at araneastorm.wix.com. And you can also find me on all social media at Araneae Storm. All that info will be below. But yes, for all of y'all, if you just coming in for the first time, it was like, so you busting out in like whole ensembles and stuff? Like sing-song ensembles? As I move forward into this series, I like to listen to music as I'm channeling the energy that I am writing about. And that was the song that came to my mind for Venus and Scorpio. Bust the windows out your car. And maybe this is more Mars, okay? Maybe this is more of a Mars channeled energy. Maybe I went there, I took it there, but it's Scorpio. It's like, yo, play me, get played. Play me, get played. Okay? Play me, get played. Especially if I open myself up to you. But before we get into Venus and Scorpio, you already know, for y'all who have been following. Alright? These are the teens. Okay? These are the teens. We're going to do this like this one for you, Scorpio. Okay? We're going to do it like this one for you, Scorpio. These are the teens with our announcements. Okay. Well, for starters, the Mars activation is now available through the Mars... The new moon in Sagittarius Mars activation is actually available. It's going to be available up into December 29th, which is the full moon in Cancer. And then we also have the Mars activation that we did for the Scorpio new moon. That is the Phoenix rising energy. You can definitely check that out with that link below. All right. The next one that we're going to be hopping into will be the Capricorn. More information will be available on that as we kick off the new year. All right. As we kick off the new year, definitely. But other than that, y'all, you feel what I'm saying? Oh, and also the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction video is posted too. If you have not already checked that out, so make sure you go check that thing out, okay? I need the full view, baby. I can't just be having like whole head. Like, give me the full thing. All right. All right. So, do we have anything else that we need to announce? I feel like I ran through that pretty quickly. Well, without further ado, let's get into the motherfucking reading, shall we? Shall we go and carry on? So, Venus. If you are a Venus in Scorpio and this is your first time, if you are a Venus in Scorpio, now I'm getting all jumbled on my words. Why? If you are a Venus in Scorpio, you know somebody with the Venus in Scorpio, if you're just coming along for the ride, you've come to the right place. You feel me? For my Venus and Scorpios out there, first of all, let's get into this Venus. What is Venus? This is how you experience pleasure. Okay? This is how you experience pleasure. This is how you are in not only romantic relationships and romantic partnerships, but this is how you make the deal. I don't know why deal or no deal is coming up, but this is how you make business, business partnerships, signing the contracts, things like that. This is like your value system. It's ruled over Taurus and Libra. And this is how you are in real partnerships, one-on-one partnerships, multiple partnerships, if that's what you're into. This is how you like to kind of give and receive energy in a relationship. So you embody this energy per se, but this is also your Venus sign, is what you look for. And I don't feel like we talk about that enough, but Venus is also what you look for in a partner, or partnerships with people, friendships with people. You know what I mean? This is the type of energy that you like to be around, that you like to kind of surround yourself with, or that kind of comes in as a helping hand, you know what I'm saying, in your time of need and support. So when you have a Venus in Scorpio, all right, the shit gets deep, all right. This is the type of energy that you really gotta know Venus in Scorpio for Scorpio to let you in. Okay, Scorpio is not just giving out all the secrets, all the gems, all the gifts with this placement. All right, if we talking about Venus, I know I said Venus in Aries, and I think I said Venus in Virgo, but I feel like this is in its detriment. I think I gotta look this up. Like I said, I will definitely be going over Venus, the detriment, the fall, the exalted, and things like that. But Venus is definitely in its detriment in Venus and Scorpio. For sure. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not the most proud here, but just because it's in that position in particular for y'all out there, do not fret. It is okay. You can still work with this energy. All right. It's definitely not the end of the world. It's very powerful energy if you use it in its highest good. I mean, even if you use it in the other goods, or highest frequency, if you will, or lower frequency, like it still has this, it could go there on both ends. All right. But I would definitely say the first thing that I thought of when I thought of Venus and Scorpio was your sexual energy and your sexual power. Somebody in the comments, I think it was Mars and Scorpio, talked about sexual retention. You can definitely transmute your sexual energy to build power. You know what I mean? Scorpio, if Scorpio is not fucking around with you, and I know this is more Mars, if anything, where Mars is Venus, but this is energy that you still work with. This is energy that you can still, build up in you. You know what I mean? So I definitely look into that, like sacral chakra, working with your sacral chakra, kundalini, yoga, stuff like that, to really build that. Meditation, tai chi, because at the end of the day, Venus does definitely have a warrior spirit. So, doing things like meditation, it's water. This is fixed water. So yes, Venus and Scorpio. Definitely seductive energy, the way Venus can be also how you flirt and things like that too, or just kind of, you know what I mean? I know it's Mars kind of sort of, but this is more like when you first talking to somebody, you first get to know them. Like Scorpio definitely speaks with their eyes, you know what I mean? Scorpio definitely has, not like Gemini eyes, but this is more like seducing you to come this way, like come to me, like I know you see me, come over here, like, you know what I mean? Very much. Also, the other song that I got for this particular Venus, I just see it out. The other song that came to me for this particular Venus after I looked up Cardi B, because I was like, Cardi is gonna be for the Venus and Libra. I like it. Now, the other song that I saw that I was like, oh, what's that song? And then I was like, ooh, Be Careful is Cardi B's song for Venus and Scorpio. Be careful with me. You don't know what you're doing. Something, 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 something. Nah, 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 nah. Be careful with me. I gave you my heart. Then I gave you my soul. She don't even know your middle name. She might fuck around and steal your chain. Like, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with a Venus and Scorpio, G. It can be deadly. You know, it can be, you know what I mean? Woo! You know what I mean? So, very sensual though. The thing is, when I talk about just Scorpio energy in general, like it can go both ways. Like there's a deep and depth that love, are a depth to Scorpio that can give you that love once you're in there, all right? But you gotta get in there, you know what I mean? And this is not the type of energy that you can easily manipulate. So, yeah, it can go south. And I think Cardi B has a Venus in Scorpio, if I'm not mistaken, as I'm talking about this shit. Mercury, I think, Venus, Mercury, and Scorpio, both, if I'm not mistaken. Very telepathic, you know what I mean? So this is the type of energy that can pick up on his partners or people's, or, you know, his energy around it and things like that. Knows, we talk about this Scorpio energy, they know, they be knowing, they be, even if they don't say anything, they're very observant with the energy, but they be knowing what's really good. They be knowing what's going down. So just know, you know, this is very magnetic. You know, like I said in the beginning, Venus and Scorpio knows how to, not even just with its eyes, but with its energy, just attract things naturally to it, you know, definitely. And at its highest frequency, you know, Scorpio energy knows it's that motherfucker. You know, it knows it's that motherfucker to the full and through. Very confident in its position, very confident where it's at. You know what I mean? Scorpio's like, yeah, like, okay. Next. Scorpio, next. You know what I mean? So, very passionate when it comes to lovers, very passionate in his craft, so business dealings and partnerships and stuff like that. Just very, you know, it puts, Scorpio is so focused, fixed water is so focused in whatever it's doing that it will put its literal heart and soul, Venus and Scorpio, into all of it to master it. You know what I mean? If we're talking about Phoenix energy, it'll go down into the depths and then come back up, just, you know what I mean? Phoenix rising, shining, you know what I mean? Going at it, you know what I mean? Definitely can be control. Definitely control freaks. Control freaks. Want to look to Mars, but control freaks. But control freaks, you feel what I'm saying? You know, they like to have a sense of control. So in relationships, sometimes they can definitely come off a lot of controlling in relationships and things like that. But it's only because, you know, for the most part, especially like I said, that higher frequency that we're talking about here, it's because they care. You know, they care a lot. Even if they might not outwardly show, you know, just how much they care. These motherfuckers care. Okay? Shit gets deep. Talking about fixed water here, alright? So, you know, it's like I said, I think I said it's very seductive in nature. You know, Mars and Scorpio knows how to seduce. You know what I mean? Mars and Scorpio knows how to get you going, get you coming through. You know, get you coming in through in the moods and things. Since we're talking about Venus here and we're talking about Scorpio ruling other people's money, it's very easy for Mars and Scorpio or Venus and Scorpio to attract money to it. Money. Once you master your Venus and Scorpio and you understand your Venus and Scorpio, it's really not hard for you to attract financial gains to you. You know, I just think it's really about what you're using those things for and how you're going about getting the monies. If we're talking about just money or business here, you want to be careful when you are doing business dealings with people. You know what I mean? That you go into business dealings with the right intentions, and you want to make sure that the people that you're doing business with are going into business with you with the right intentions, because you can get caught up. You know what I mean? This is the type of energy that I'm just thinking in my head that just come to me right now. It was just like when I was saying on Venus and Virgo, I think it was, like when people like to say that business isn't personal, but it's very personal. It's very personal, especially in a Venus like this. It can get very personal. You know, I talk about somebody ending up in the back of somebody's car. Okay? You know what I mean? And I say it lightly, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, it, you know, You want to be very careful with who you're working with, the people that are surrounding you, the people that are around you. You know what I mean? So you're not getting yourself caught up in some stuff that you can't get yourself out of. Okay? This is the type of energy too, Venus and Scorpio. It's easy for people to follow you. It's easy for people to listen and want to follow you. Cool. I mean, what was that? Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody said something. I thought somebody said something. Yeah, you have the gift of gab when it comes to that. Okay, or just not even just the gift of gab, but like you have that energy that pulls people in, that makes them want to follow suit. So it's about what you're using it for. All right, are we using this to transform, Scorpio? Or are we using this energy to destroy? You can only prevent forest fires. Okay, just saying. So I'm just saying, Mars and Scorpio, Venus and Scorpio. Okay, so definitely prone to stalking. This is very obsessive energy. You know, it could be that definitely in relationships. Like a Venus and Scorpio will pull the fuck up on your ass. They are checking the stocks, analyzing, making sure things is good, making sure like, okay, so where did you say you was going? You said you was where? And I'm not encouraging this at all. I'm not encouraging stalking. I'm just talking about the energy. You know what I'm saying? But these motherfuckers will pull up on that ass. Like, you said you was where around 5 when I called you? It was like I was told you I was getting my hair cut. You a goddamn lying nigga, because I know where you get your hair cut at, a nigga. You was not there when I pulled the fuck up. So nigga, who you lying to? Not me. Mars, Venus. Why do I keep wanting to say Mars and Scorpio? Venus and Scorpio. Yo, this is still Mars here though. You know what I mean? It's gonna be very fiery. That's why I said there's passion there. But when they're connected to you, you know, the pleasure. If we're talking about pleasure, we're talking about sex, because sex should be pleasurable. Even if you spiritually bonding, you know, it's a spiritual situation. You spiritually bonded to somebody. Like this energy, you know, can be very, because we are talking about sex here in some cases, but it can be very pleasurable. They can really go there with you if they connected to you. You know what I mean? Venus and Scorpio will go there with you if they are connected to you. The sex is going to be amazing. You know? It's going to feel like a spiritual experience. You know? It's a sex magic energy as well. Like, I know we talked about sex transmutation and things like that, sacral chakra energy, but you can literally have sex with people to attract the things that you want, attract the things that you need. You can use this energy, like I said, you're going to use it how you use it, Scorpio, but be careful how you use it. Be careful what you are attaching it to, all right? Because it could come back, bite you right on that butt, you know what I mean? If it wants to. You know, this is the type of energy also, too, that, you know, Venus and Scorpio honors privacy. You know, this is not the type of energy that you just going to see all out in the open unless you just have, like, there's, you know, other placements definitely, or something that's being aspected to your Venus for sure. But they value privacy. And you need to understand that Venus and Scorpio needs time alone. If you're not trying to give Venus and Scorpio time alone, they will resent you. You will hear it from them. Because Venus and Scorpios, for the most part, is very blunt. Like I said, check the other placements. But they will, especially if they there with you like that, they just kind of say it. Sagittarius comes after Scorpio. They just kind of, you know, just kind of say it. They just kind of, you know. But this is very, like I said, it's very magnetic. This can be very mysterious. So one thing that I could definitely say about Venus and Scorpio in partnerships or just even relationships, people are like, I don't really know. Like, I know, but I just don't feel like I know completely. And I feel like that could be with anybody, really. But Venus and Scorpio definitely, like, people will definitely guess or try to figure out, like, what's what with Venus and Scorpio. Because they don't really know. They don't really know where they stand. They don't really know where they're at or how they're feeling and stuff. Because they harbor a lot of things in. But once Venus and Scorpio gets there with you, they will go there with you. You know, this is sacred, very sacred energy. If we're talking about clothing here, Venus and Scorpio, or just style or dress and stuff like that, because Venus can be that too. Very dark colors, dark clothing. You know what I mean? Like they don't really, Venus and Scorpio, you wouldn't really necessarily see Venus and Scorpio with like wearing like really bright colors. You mostly see them like with really dark colors, or like, you know, it could be that, you know what I mean? They're not really the most super bright color, you know, wearing motherfuckers, you know what I mean? I think of gothic, or like, you know what I'm saying, or just dark, really darker tones and things like that. Also, if we're talking about career-wise, the things that they be passionate about in career, I feel like these are the producers, these are the occultists, these are the psychologists, the mind probing, the mind researchers. You know, they're able to penetrate, you know what I mean, and get to the bottom of things. They would definitely be, they could also do like you know, fitness and things like that, or just working with the body, working with weapons, martial arts, like Venus and Aries, martial arts, or, you know, definitely though, I would definitely say surgeons. This is definitely like the mind. They would definitely be good at like digging down deep into the mind. Scientists, like Venus and Aquarius, like these are those kind of, that kind of energy, you know what I'm saying? They're the type of, this is the type of energy that's not afraid to go where people are scared to go. You know, this is the holder of secrets, you know, and Scorpio kind of likes to pull, you know, that energy out, you know what I mean? It's also the energy that like you will be thinking about somebody and they call you, you know what I mean? They're like, I was thinking about you. It's like, well, I was thinking about you too, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's definitely Venus and Scorpio. Is there anything else? Very driven, very ambitious as well. Like I said, when it's kind of like Sagittarius in that sense, it's probably like when you first pull back, right? When you first pull back that arrow for it's not Sagittarius energy, but just when you first pull back that arrow, that's Venus and Scorpio. And then when you release and hit, you know, that's Sagittarius. And if we're talking about progress charts, you eventually will move into Venus and Sagittarius in this lifetime. So, you know, given you get there, of course, we all, you know, campaigning for you to get there. But I'm just saying that pull back is Venus and Scorpio. That pull off into the abyss, hitting that mark, is Venus and Sagittarius. So that is my analysis of Venus and Scorpio. Next week, you already know, we're going to be hopping into that Venus in Sagittarius through Venus in Pisces. And then we will jump into the Jupiter sign series. I would like to thank everybody for coming through. You already know what the fuck it is, all right? Araneae Storm checking in. Checking the fuck out without motherfucking doubt.